What came first, the chicken or the egg? What is the meaning of life, and why do so many of us spend so much time trying to find purpose in our lives? Why do we hate? Why do we fear? Why do we love? And why were we born with these certain instincts and mental constructs? What's the purpose of pain? And what's the purpose of pleasure? And how does one make sense of this simulation or construct we call life? Angel's Egg, directed by Mamoru Oshii, is a 1985 classic thought-provoking fantasy film that really probes into the general human psyche and the limitations of that construct. It does so in a surprisingly unorthodox manner. The film stars a girl and a man, both unnamed, as they trek through a somewhat familiar dystopian environment filled with thought-provoking symbology. The movie uses very little dialogue and shows most of its messages in a very symbolic way with its animation and creative art style. Visually, nearly every scene in the film is packed with multi-layered messages depending on the eyes viewing it, and I think that was a purposeful intention of the directors. The main characters in the movie complement each other in a really interesting way. The female main character is a young girl that seemingly has an odd yet instinctual mother-like attachment to a large egg that she carries around for most of the film. The male, on the other hand, is a mid-aged guy with a calm, callous yet kind demeanor. He walks around with a large metaphorical gun-like cross covered in thorns with a rose emblem attached to it. Every conversation he has with the little girl is seemingly designed to sprout a picture in the viewer's mind of that same biblical parallel. In one of the most prolific conversations he has with the girl, he speaks on the illusions of time and space using a biblical reference from the book of Genesis that I find very interesting. As I am currently, I have grown to recognize that a lot of the messages in the Bible are highly metaphorical, and the interpretation of the text varies heavily on the individual knowledge of the person who's viewing that text. From my own personal curiosity to understand reality to a higher degree, a couple years ago through meditation, I was able to see through the illusion of time and space by experiencing an ego death, where I broke through and entered a somewhat void-like blackness, where there was no end or beginning, nor separation from forms of thought or existence. Through my own personal experimentations with things like living life, yoga, meditation, and psychedelics, I have come across quite a few mental epiphanies, and these breakthroughs have led me to realize just how expansive creation really is and the multi-dimensional possibilities in this game we call life. I find Angel's Egg amazing in the way it displays these similar ideas and concepts. Just as man preys upon animal, and animal preys upon animal, going through phases in life you realize how men prey upon men, and thus higher or different forms of life prey upon us in a similar manner as well, in positive ways and in negative ways. There seems to be an intricate structural evolutionary system built within mankind that allows us to ascend to different levels of perception and states of being, and this idea is shown from many different angles in the imagery and dialogue used in the film. From the ancient ruins displayed in the film to the futuristic robotic-like technology displayed within the same setting, you can tell the directors were probably trying to hint at the concept of infinity and the never-ending possibility of expansion beyond the concepts of time and human perception. The struggles of the characters in the story are akin to the metaphor of not cracking an egg from the outside before letting the creature on the inside break through its shell at its proper time. One of the key ideas shown in the film is the reality of entities wanting to destroy that same egg before it has the opportunity to hatch, thus reflecting the duality of this physical realm we exist in and the ups and downs we experience in everyday life. What is an angel? I say an angel is a multi-dimensional entity that predominantly chooses to express love from its being. Angel's Egg is a great representative of this concept with the reminders and ideas it seeded into my mind upon watching. Viewers be warned, Angel's Egg is a fairly old school animation style directed at a more introspective type of audience, so you really have to have a certain type of taste for a slow burn story to fully appreciate it. I give Angel's Egg a solid 9, and I understand why it's not as popular as other great animes, but I can imagine the people that do like it were also able to see some of the parallels that I was able to feel and perceive. I definitely recommend it for all seekers of truth and mind expansion.